Heard you did it first, I could do it better. If we talking bands, got a new vendetta. They don't want me in, they gon' have to let us. They gon' try to rock when it's Armageddon. They gon' take a lot when they hear the message, and they gon' wanna drop when they hear the sessions.
What's good, everyone? A Walker here. Today I am back with another tutorial on how to mix and master your kicks and 808s. I did a similar tutorial about a year ago, and basically the concept of it was what they call gain staging. And gain staging is basically turning up the volume in every possible envelope of a sound. So like you open up a kick and you go to the settings and you go to that volume knob, and then you go to the volume knob on top, and then you go to the volume knob in the mixer, and then the volume knob in the parametric EQ, and then you put soft clipper on the master, and basically the kick sounds really hard. So basically this tutorial is somewhat similar, but I've found a couple new ways to mix your beats so they work a lot better with artists' vocals. So I'm going to be showing you guys an example of unmixed drums and mixed drums, and then I'll show you guys how it sounds on the beat. And also, if you want any of the sounds in this video, they all come from my latest drum kit, the Dr. Drums Drum Kit Volume 1. If you're too lazy, to follow this process and see how I mix my drums, you can just go ahead and cop the kit in the link in the bio and get all your pre-mixed sounds that sound hard and they're ready for some fire songs. So without further ado, let's get into this video. Alright, so here is what the unmixed Spins 808 and kick sounds like. I figured I'd use the Spins 808 because it's one of the most universal used 808 in beat making. So here's what it sounds like unmixed. And then I'm going to show you what it sounds like mixed. So as you can see, the sound here, it's called the 2021 Spins. That's in my new drum kit, like I said, the Dr. Drums Drum Kit. This is basically my way of mixing the Spins 808 so it's hard. So here's what it sounds like. Alright, so that's what the mixed drums sound like, and now I'm going to show you how to transform any 808 pretty much, or specifically the Spins 808, to sound like that. Alright, so what you're going to want to do is go into the Spins 808 envelope. Sometimes what I do is I like to boost it like this, or you can just normalize it and gain stage, depending on what DAW you're working with. Some have these pre-computed effects, some don't. So I actually prefer to just boost it like this, just a little bit, and then just scroll up on the out knob just to make the envelope a little bit shorter. So that already will make it sound a lot better. But naturally, the Spins 808 is very bassy, and that's what a lot of people think is better when it comes to making your kicks hard. But really what you want to do is you want to make sure your kick is fitting right on top of the 808 perfectly. You don't want them to clash, so you just want them to be in their own little EQ. So what I did there is I sent the the Spins 808 to the mixer by clicking this little track button over here. So it's now in the 9th mixer channel. So surprisingly, the first thing I do to the Spins 808 is come over here to the right side of the mixer equalizer, and I actually turn down the low end quite significantly. So when you turn down the low end, it's obviously a lot less bassier, but it allows for you to turn up the volume even more. So here's what it sounds like with the volume up. Also, with this raw Spins 808, I don't like the high end on the 808, so I actually come over here to the equalizer again on the right side and turn down the high end. So this is kind of what the envelope looks like to the Spins 808 right now. This is just basic mixing on the 808 to make it sound a lot harder and to prevent really harsh clipping on like songs or vocals. So here's what it sounds like. So it's able to stay nice and loud, and at the same time it doesn't, you know, blow up your headphones. It doesn't destroy the mix. But here's what it would sound like with the normal bass at its current volume. Obviously that's way too harsh. There's way too much clipping going on there, and you can't have an artist rap on that. So that's the quick and easiest way to mix any 808 specifically. Like, I mean, you could use any 808, just turn down the bass, like the really low end, and maybe turn down the high end. I personally just don't like the high end on the Spins 808, but you can do that to essentially any 808. And so the next thing we mix is the kick. Okay, so here's what the kick sounds like without being mixed at all and without the 808. So right off the bat, like I did with the 808, I'm going to come over here to the right side of the settings and click track. It will send it to the mixer so I can edit it. First thing I'm going to want to do is, like in my last video, just gain stage, turn up the volume a little bit. And then to make it work with the 808, it's like you're basically doing the exact opposite of what you did to the 808. You're going to want to turn up the low end on the kick. It may not make sense to you. It doesn't really make any sense to me too. But a lot of the kick's frequencies are right here. If you see on the bottom right side of the screen, the frequencies, are right here. But there's slight frequencies in the deep low end. And when you turn those up, it fits really nicely into the 808. And so here's what the 808, the mixed 808 and the mixed kick sounds like. So basically, to sum up this video, you're going to want to turn down the low end on the 808, and you don't need any plugins for this. You don't need any plugins. If you're using FL Studio, every FL has this equalizer here in the mixer. All you're going to want to do is just turn down the low end and turn down the high end, and then turn up the volume on the 808. And then for the kick, you're going to want to turn up the low end and just leave every other frequency, and it will sit very nicely on the 808, and you'll be able to hear the vocals very nicely. And I can even show you guys an example of how a song would sound with this specific mix. So here's an example of a song I did with this artist named Fortunate. It's this fire beat, and he killed it on the track, but the 808 just doesn't hit, and here's my technique to make it hit.
Trust me, I'm a big dog, but you more like a puppy. I'm a big fish, but you more like a guppy. I feel like a ghost, cause I know you can't touch me. I feel like I'm on, cause I know you can't bust me. I know you a bum, cause I know you too dusty. I feel your fake energy claiming you love me, cause you the same one that was just trying to dub me. All of that chatter, I hear it, don't trust me. I'm a big dog, but you more like a puppy. I'm a big fish, but you more like a guppy. I feel like a ghost, cause I know you can't touch me. I feel like I'm on, cause I know.
As you can hear, obviously it's really hard, and you kind of have to mix with your ears. But that's a lot better than the original version. You know, it just sounds a lot harder and more unique and just not lame, you know? So that's basically it for the video, guys. Thank you for tuning in again. I really appreciate it. And also a reminder, if you need any of the sounds in this kit, in this video, link in the bio, all the sounds are in there. Dr. Drums Volume 1, one of my craziest drum kits ever. And yeah, check it out, guys.
Feel like I'm a god when I'm in your presence. I feel like I'm on top, I feel like I had it. City only rock that Givenchy. Got a new white bag and it coming full speed. And they see me at the top, now they really like me. Gotta move like that when you're real icy. Cause it's way less